Is the luxury housing market in Washington, D.C. and Virginia thriving, or is it struggling, holding on for dear life? Today, we've got some incredible luxury homes to take a look at, both in D.C. and Virginia. And we're also going to be going over the data so we can see how the market performed last year compared to this year, just so we can find out if these luxury homes are just sitting on the market, or if they're actually getting scooped up like hotcakes by buyers. We've got the stats, we've got the trends, and of course, we've got some jaw-dropping properties to take a look at, and we're getting after it right now. If you stumbled across this video, that's most likely because you're interested in Washington, D.C. area real estate, whether that's buying a home, selling a home, or maybe you're just curious about the D.C. real estate market at large. If that's the case, you're at the right place. Feel free to subscribe below. My name is Bashir, and I get calls, texts, emails from folks just like you looking to buy or sell a home in the Washington, D.C. metro area. So if you have plans on doing that in the next 30, 60, 90 days, or even more, feel free to reach out to me, shoot me a call, send me a text. All my contact details are down below in the description. Look forward to helping you find the right home in the right neighborhood. So what price actually defines a luxury home? There's no objective or universally agreed upon price for a luxury home. However, these are two of the biggest mistakes that I see when people try to quantify the price for where luxury homes start at. The first mistake that I see is either one, they start too low. So I've heard people say that luxury homes in the DC area start at about $1.5 million. I mean, you can easily find a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,200 square foot row home in Georgetown for $1.5 million. And there's nothing luxury about that whatsoever, right? In that situation, you're just paying for the prime location of Georgetown. Now, on the flip side, the second mistake that I see is people set the bar too high for what a luxury home should start at. I've heard people say luxury homes in the DC area start at $3.5 million. And then my follow-up question is, well, what do you consider a $3 million home? So in my opinion, luxury homes in the DC area start off at around $2.5 million. And I'll tell you why. Because this is the price point where you start to see a lot of quality finishes, unique amenities, and above average square footage in homes in the DC area. So if you walked into a $1.5 million home and you walked into a $2.5 million home, the $2.5 million home is going to look drastically different compared to the $1.5 million home. Now, if you walked in a $2.5 million home and a $3.5 million home, I mean, yes, are there going to be differences? Of course. The $3.5 million home is probably going to have more square footage, 2,000 to 3,000 square feet more than the $2.5 million home. But I would argue that the differences are not astronomical. And of course, this varies vastly by neighborhood. So today we're going to use the $2.5 million price point as a barometer for the data we're going to look at to analyze the luxury market in DC and Virginia, and also the homes we're going to tour. So the first home we're going to be looking at is this luxury home right behind me. It's in Washington, DC, upper Northwest in the neighborhood of Chevy Chase. It's a 6-bedroom, 4.5 bath, 6,200 square foot home, built in 2019. So it's a pretty young home. It's about roughly 6-7 years old, give or take. Priced at $2,850,000. So let's go inside and check it out. So we've got our paved walkway that leads us right into the home. Now, as soon as you walk into this home, you can see everything that's going on. But before we get there, what do we have in this entryway? We've got this beautiful tile, white tile with the black, this looks like some sort of gray veining that runs throughout. We've got this enclosure right here for artwork and any decorative items. So this, you know what this home reminds me of? Just because it's so open, right? So when you walk in, through the front door, you can basically see everything that's going on end to end. And it just reminds me of, you know, when you go to those family gatherings, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I mean, I think children do this for the most part. When I say children, I'm talking under 18 years old. It's like they walk in and certain family members they might try to avoid. So they walk in and they might try to sneak into the basement or sneak up the stairs. With this home, there's no sneaking. So when you walk in, you're gonna have to say hello to Grandma Betty or, you know, Uncle James, who you don't really want to speak to. You can't avoid them because they can see everyone who walks in through that front door. So we've got white oak floors. This would be our living area. We've got a gas fireplace right there. And I think this is some sort of tile. Yeah, this is definitely some sort of tile. Accent wall. You've got these expansive windows that bring in a good amount of natural light. And we've got these recessed lighting that goes all throughout the home. So we have around 50 of these. Really brightens up the home. So over to the left here, we've got our kitchen. Huge waterfall island, quartz countertops. Now, geez, I would not want to be one of the guys who had to carry this into the property because this thing is huge. Over here, we've got our undermount sink. We've got these light fixtures right above. You can see they've got the LED lighting that runs throughout this enclosure up here. Six burner gas stove. And check this out. We've got two Viking refrigerators. We've got one over there and we also have one over here. So tons of storage space for your food items. So the counter space over here is the same theme, quartz countertops that run right up through the wall, all the way up to where the refrigerator is. You've got the range hood right there, the pot filler right above the stove. And wow, look at that. Lots of cabinet space. So all appliances are Viking, including the microwave and the dishwasher. So let me take you around the island because the storage space doesn't stop on the other side. It goes all the way down to that side. Now over here is our butler's pantry, additional cabinet space. We've got a wine cooler with French doors. There we go. Over to the right, this would be the pantry. Now this area would be your dining. And to the left will be some sort of, an additional sitting area. You see they've got the TV right there mounted on the wall, and they just have these beautiful floor to ceiling windows. Lots of trees in the neighborhood. You get an expansive view of the entire neighborhood with these floor to ceiling windows. So let's go out on this deck and see what we have here. Let me see if I can open this. So we've got this large deck. Now, this is actually a parking spot, but it seems like the owners converted this into a swing set area for the kids. So if you wanted to convert this back to the original parking spot that it was intended for, you just take this off. That's the sliding door right there for the garage, or for, you know, for entering to this area. And then this would be sort of your yard space, right? So you've got a mix of greenery, you've got these stone pavers, and you've also got this area right here that's completely paved off. So it's a nice compact yard space. And then over here is completely paved off as well. This takes you to the front of the home. And this is the basement entry, which we'll check out in just a bit. All right, let's head back in. Beautiful neighborhood. Lots of greenery. Okay. So before we go upstairs, since we're already here, let's check out the basement. I think, did I show this? This is a powder room. So you got this nice stone finish right here. You've got this beautiful glass frame. Again, tons of recessed lighting. I mean, this is probably around 40 or 50 bulbs. And this would be our laundry area. That's just a mechanical closet right there, so not much to look at. This is our laundry area, and for the floors, this is some sort of tile, which is, as I always say, the best floor material for, or the best type of floors for basements. So here we have an additional bedroom. Closet right there. Full bathroom. Okay, so this just connects to the other bedroom. So they've got these thermostats. These are most likely to heat up the floors. So what do we have here? Is this some? Okay, that's our sump pump. Okay, so I like that it's enclosed into this box, you know, instead of having the sump pump just exposed. Sump pumps are not the most aesthetically pleasing things to look at, especially not in a luxury home of this price point. So look at this basement. This basement has to be at least maybe 1,500 square feet, maybe even 2,000. It's huge. So we've got this sort of like, what is this, a kitchenette. We've got the wine cooler at the bottom, tons of cabinet space. We've got floating shelves for additional storage. So you could actually host down here, right? Yeah, this could be a good hosting part of the home. And then we got these sliding doors, takes us outside to the yard. And what do we have here? Is this? Okay, so it's just sump pumps right throughout that are enclosed in these boxes. Okay, cool. Let's head upstairs. Love the floating stairs, just gives you that luxury aesthetic. And man, I'm in awe of how huge this island is, right? I mean, right now they have 4 of these bar stools, but I mean, geez, you can probably fit 6 to 8 on this island. So if you're someone who has a huge family, you love to host for, I mean, not just special occasions, but just, if you do that quite frequently throughout the year, this is like the perfect home. Tons of space. Okay, so this takes us to our well-lit 3rd level. Again, floor-to-ceiling windows. Really brightens up the area. We've got the continuous theme of these white oak hardwood floors. Here's our laundry closet. And I guess this is some sort of linen closet as well. Okay, so let's start off with this bedroom. Okay, do we have a closet? Yes, we do. So we've got our closet and we've got a view of the neighborhood. Lots of trees. It's currently about 9:30 a.m. So, everyone's getting their garden taken care of. All right, let's head so this would be the 2nd bedroom. We've got a full bathroom right here with a tub. A little bit of a larger vanity here compared to what we've seen so far. We've got these mirrors with the LED lights and also the anti-fog mechanisms built in. Over here we've got a smaller bedroom. With a pretty decent sized closet. Okay, so if this bedroom, which is probably the smallest bedroom in the house, has a closet that's that size, I wonder what the main bedroom has in store for us. Let's check it out. So this is our main bedroom, and of course we've got a walk-in closet with these built-ins, and we also have a mirror, which is awesome. So you don't have to try your clothes on, go out to your bedroom. You can basically try it on. If you don't like your outfit, you could look in the mirror, change, put on a new outfit. Makes the process of getting ready in the mornings pretty seamless. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we've got pretty tall ceilings in this home. About 10-foot ceilings on the main level, and then upstairs here we have around 9-foot ceilings. So this is our main bedroom. Now we have an additional deck. Check that out in a second. And this bedroom, I would assume, is probably about, 800 to 1,000 square feet. Pretty good amount of space. You've got this area, which could be used as, you could have some sort of furniture right here to store clothes. If you run out of space in the in the closet right there. You've got that sitting area, you've got the bed, of course, and then you've got outdoor space, right? So let's get a view of the outside from this balcony here. So you come out here in the early morning with your morning coffee, get some work done outside if the weather permits. And you've got these recessed lighting under. Got these beautiful light fixtures. Yeah, you get a nice view of the neighborhood. That's actually I think it might be a comparable house to this one. They've got 2 decks, okay, but I think this home is more, I would say vertical. Okay, so they've got this accent wall going on. I like when you can take something that's so boring and so just plain as a wall and just turn it into something that pops a little bit, right? It just adds a little bit more flair to the space. Now, this is our bathroom. Whoa, check this out. So we've got 2 rain heads right there. That's your shower area, and then also we have the standalone tub. Dual vanity, same concept. They've got this large mirror with the LED lighting and the anti-fog mechanisms. And then over here, I like this. I've never seen this concept before. Usually, when homes are built these days, these newer homes, they try to give some sort of privacy to the toilet by building an actual, enclosure with a traditional door. But I like the idea of this frosted glass that just gives you, some privacy when you're doing your thing and your spouse is taking a shower. And I actually like this enclosure right here. It gives you space you can get really creative with that space. Okay. Check this out. They've got these, are those shower heads? I doubt it. Let me see. I'm not trying to, I don't want to get wet. You know what? I don't want to risk it. I can't tell exactly what that is. They look like built-in shower heads built into the ceiling. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so we're not done yet. Let's head up to the 4th level and see what we've got going on. Okay, so on this level, we've got a bedroom and a bathroom. So this bathroom has same finish with the stone countertops. And then we've got this black, blue, and white tile just for a little bit of variety throughout the home. So I actually like that design. Additional bedroom. Okay, that would be the closet. And then check out this space. So not only do we have the main area, the living room, and also the basement as an entertainment area, but you also have this. So I guess this would be the exclusive part of the home. This is where all the fun stuff is gonna happen up on this level. You got the couch right there, you got the TV, turn on the game, you've got additional seating right there. I mean, this is just a really versatile space. Windows again on all corners of the space to bring in that natural light. And over to the left here, we've got another wine cooler, floating shelves for storage. And this is just our mechanical room. So yeah, I also forgot to mention we have dual heating and cooling, as you would expect in a home with this sort of square footage. Now, this is the largest deck in the home. This deck is about 450 square feet. So this deck is the size of many apartments and condos in DC. So don't take that for granted, okay? Check this out. This is ginormous. So you get a view of the entire, well, not the entire neighborhood, but okay, so beautiful home. And as a reminder, this home is priced at $2,850,000. Here's what we're gonna do next. I'm gonna hop over to Virginia. We're gonna look at a luxury home in Virginia. And you wanna stick around to the end because after the tours, I'm gonna be revealing if these properties are just sitting on the market and nobody wants them, or if they're just selling off the market like hotcakes. So if you're an individual looking to either purchase or sell a home at this price point, trust me, you don't wanna miss this. So for the Virginia home, we're in McLean, Virginia. And the reason why I chose McLean, Virginia is because when you hear the word McLean, when you hear the city McLean, Virginia, you automatically equate that to luxury real estate. I'm pretty sure if you typed in McLean, Virginia in Google, the first thing you're going to see is a 7-bedroom, 5-bathroom, 10,000 square foot McMansion. I can guarantee that. So the reason I chose McLean and not Arlington or Alexandria is because, I mean, now, can you find $2, $3, $4 million custom built homes in Arlington and Alexandria? Of course. I mean, Arlington and Alexandria are without a doubt in the top 10 for the most expensive cities in our entire capital region. But Arlington and Alexandria are not complete luxury markets. I mean, the average single family detached home in Arlington or Alexandria is going to cost you about $850,000 to $900,000. Not a luxury price point, but the average single family home in McLean, Virginia, and this is just average, not the top range or the lower range. This is the average cost of a single family home in McLean is around $2.1 million. So that's exactly why we're in McLean, Virginia, checking out this 7-bedroom, 6-bathroom, 9,200 square foot new construction home that was built in 2024. It sits on a half-acre lot. So if we convert that to square footage, it's about 21,000 square feet, give or take, and it has a 3-car garage. So let's go in and check it out. Okay, so as we walk in, we've got this nice long driveway. So even though we've got the 3-car garage right there, still got ample space for parking on this paved driveway. So, I mean, as you can see, we've got different types of homes in this neighborhood, right? You've got homes like that. And then, of course, you've got homes like this. You've got homes like that also. So it's just how things work in these neighborhoods: McLean, Vienna, Arlington, Alexandria. A lot of these older homes, they were built in the 50s, right? Some of them are 2,000 square feet, 2,500, even some are like 1,800. And for the modern day buyer, it just doesn't suit their needs anymore. So, you know, these get knocked down and these get built because the lots are substantially large that you can put a structure, a 9,200 square foot home on the existing structure. So it seems like we have this, is this real brick or is this a brick facade? I think that's real brick. So we've got this brick exterior, but then on the side, we've got vinyl. Beautiful landscaping. Love the light fixtures on the exterior of the property. So we're going to check out the yard. I'll save that for later on in the video. But as we walk into the property, you've got this grand entry right here with the chandelier. Okay, so this is one of those homes, when you walk in, you don't know where to place your eyes because there's just so many things to look at, right? It's just so aesthetically pleasing. You could look over there, you could look over there to the living room, you could look over here to the dining. So where do we start? Let's start off with this area on the right. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my jacket off because we've got 92 square feet of house to tour. So pretty sure I'm gonna start sweating in a second here. So I'm just gonna lay my jacket right here. Okay, I'm just gonna lay this right here so I can be comfortable looking at this home. All right, here we go. So we walk in through the front door. We've got some frosted glass to give you that privacy at your front door. We've also got those windows up there to allow more natural light to flood the property. Of course, common theme in a lot of newer homes these days, these white oak floors. So let's look at this area. Different type of light fixture right here. Another style of light fixture over there. So this would be some sort of a sitting area, right? And this would be a work area. So they kind of left this enclosure open. So there are no pocket doors. So you can kind of set up right here and, get your work done. You could also get a view of everything that's going on to a certain extent in the dining room over there and in your living area. We've got these beautiful floor to ceiling windows. And over here is just some an additional sitting area. To the left, we have our dining room. Show you what this looks like. Beautiful gold light fixture right above your dining table. Floor to ceiling windows. They've got these beautiful black Pella windows. Now, I like when these windows go all the way down to the floor, especially when you have pets, and the dogs are barking at the mailman or barking at any visitors you have. They don't have to, I guess they could put their feet on that and, it's just you don't want footprints and potential damage from pets on your windows, but they can kind of see what's going on through right there, especially if you have a little dog, because over time, trust me, if they keep jumping up on that, depending on how rambunctious the dog is, it's going to cause some damage. So yeah, this is our dining area. We got the molding all throughout the ceiling over there. And over here to the right, that's a staircase leading upstairs. We've got a powder room right here. Beautiful choice of tile. And they've got stone tops for the countertops. To the right here, we've got, okay, so this is just our elevator shaft. So if you wanted to install an elevator in a home, the shaft has already been built and you can just go ahead and install the elevator and don't have to worry about actually building the shaft. Okay, the crown molding continues right throughout the home. We've got a ton of recess lighting. Now, this is our main living space. Kitchen, dining, and living room combo. Beautiful light fixtures. Now, we've got some sort of a two-tone pink color scheme going on. We've got this off-white, and we also have the white around, snow white around the trim, right? So it gives you some variety in the home. So over here, we've got, this is our living space, of course, gas fireplace installed up against this tile. Is this tile or is this stone? I think this is some sort of tile. Yeah, this is right up against this tile wall. We've got floating shelves where you could have things on display. Also got some storage space down here. Love the color combination. White countertops, and you've got the oak walnut finish for the cabinets and also the shelves, and then the gray backdrop on the wall. And then check that out. We've got our deck, which we can see through these almost floor to ceiling window doors. So our outdoor space overlooking 21,000 square feet of outdoor space, half-acre lot. So this is all the space you need if you had multiple pets. I mean, you don't even have to take them to a dog park. The only reason you might have to do that is if, for socialization purposes, but they can come out here and run up and down all they need to, get rid of that energy that you most likely wouldn't be able to get out of them, depending on what type of dog you have. Okay. Let's head back in. Now, before we go to the kitchen, let's check out what this is. I didn't forget this space. So in case you don't remember what the space is, it's just right off the front door where we walk in. We've got this butler's pantry. To the left is just additional storage space. And then before we focus on the kitchen, we can see here we've got a lot of space for dining. They have a mini dining table right here. They've got a larger dining table right there. And as you can see, right above the dining table, we've got another beautiful light fixture, floor to ceiling windows on all corners. So while you eat, you can really get a view of the outdoors. So they've got the vents in the floors. Love when the vents match with the color scheme of the oak floors. Just makes everything look in tandem and not out of place. So again, recessed lighting throughout. We've got this island. I would argue that this island is probably half the size of the island that we saw in the first DC home. That island was huge. It probably went from the sink all the way to the refrigerator. Okay, we've got decor appliances, dishwasher, refrigerator, and the microwave. So we've got this undermount sink. Again, while you wash dishes, you have a view of outside, because listen, washing dishes it's extremely boring, right? You want something to do while you're washing dishes, right? And just having the view of outside is just, it's better than just washing dishes and looking at the plates, right? So you've got that view while you wash the dishes. They've got the gold fixtures. So really like the color scheme combination that's going on right here. They've got the white with the gold, and love the choice of tile backsplash that they've got going on here. So, okay, they've got two-tone cabinetry, white, and this, what would you call this? Sort of like a light walnut color. And I just noticed that my sweater matches, it kind of matches with the aesthetic of the home. That was not done on purpose, by the way. Hood range right above our 6-burner gas stove. All right, of course, we've got the soft close cabinets. That was a kind of a hard pull with the soft close. Had to put some muscle in that. And for the countertops, we actually have quartz countertops, pot filler right there, double oven. We've got the microwave, and we've also got the oven at the bottom, right? I love the variety of light fixtures in this home. So you've got this one, you've got that one, you've also got that. So good choices. We've got our refrigerator. Man, that thing is heavy. Wow. Of course, soft closed doors for the refrigerator as well. More storage space. Now let's head over to this area. This is our mudroom. Of course, you can see the transition in flooring from the oak floors to the tile, because this is where, you know, all the dirty shoes and feet are going to be housed, right? So you don't track all that stuff in. So we've got our mudroom. We've got these built-ins for storage, for shoes. As you can see, it's, you know, staged to give you ideas of how to utilize the space. We've got these hooks for hats, bags, and coats. And to the left here is just our oversized pantry. Okay, lots of space for food items. And then this is just our 3-car garage. I mean, depending on what you drive, you can probably store 4 cars in here, to be honest. Okay, we've got the recessed lighting. Now let's head over here to our prep kitchen. So we've got this prep kitchen with a different color scheme, gray cabinets, similar countertops. We've got the undermount sink, LG appliances. So this is, you know, where you just come in, you do all the food prepping, and then you bring it out to the main kitchen for the main event. As you can see, they went with a different type of backsplash. This is some sort of tile. And you've also got a window, but you know, the view is not as great, you know? But hey, you still got a view. And over here, what I really love about this home is we have a bedroom with a full bathroom. So if you had any older family members who was living with you or visiting, right? This could be their enclave. Have everything they need. You know, they can even make that kitchen their own because it's got everything: a stove, dishwasher, refrigerator, with the exception of a microwave. So yeah, the home has some sort of multi-generational living aspect to it. Got a stand-in shower, which is a great idea because if you're going to be housing like older parents here, seamless. They can just walk in, no need for a tub where they have to like hop, skip, and jump in. It's also got that seating area right there in the shower. Good stuff, good stuff. To the left here is just the closet. Let's see how big it is. Okay, lots of built-ins. We've got a few racks right there to hang some clothes on. Okay, awesome. So I think that's it for the first level. Now let's head up to our main level. So as you walk up the stairs, another style of light fixture. I love that chandelier. So we've got windows, more windows, and more windows. So on this level, would be a secondary sitting area. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms. So let's start off on the extreme end. You know what, let's start off with right there since we're already here. We've got the ceiling fan, and this is just a nice area. You know, if you wanted some, you know, exclusivity from the main living area on the first level, you can just come up here and, you know, camp out. Pretty large bedroom, which has its own bath. Full bathroom again, similar theme as the bathroom downstairs. Walk-in shower with built-in soap and shampoo storage. No need for shower caddies, right? Because you know those things tend to, you know, get a bit tacky and ruin the aesthetic of the bathroom. Over here we've got our closet. Floor to ceiling windows. Now, here is our second level or third level, you know, if we're starting from the basement. Third level laundry room. Okay? So this is not just a laundry closet. This is an actual full-fledged laundry room. And also looks like we've got an attic. Okay? So you can store all your, you know, everything you need for laundry, you can store it in here. Detergent, whatever the case might be. Then over here, we've got an additional bedroom, not as big as the first, doesn't have the floor to ceiling windows, but again, pretty well lit with these expansive windows right here. This is just, love the tile. Okay, seems like they went with a different, I don't remember what the flooring was in that other bathroom. Let me quickly go back and look at that. I'm actually curious about that. Okay, so it seems like they went with sort of like a traditional tile for this bathroom. Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember, because it didn't really stand out. As opposed to this one, I actually like the design, so that's why it stood out to me. Okay. So they put this black and white tile here, with a different design to kind of make it pop. I'm assuming that's because this room is not it doesn't have the floor to ceiling windows. It doesn't have the size. So they kind of put something in here to, kind of give it a little bit of an aesthetic. And then also we've got a closet, which seems to be a little bit larger than the closet in that first bedroom. Okay. Good idea. You don't want anyone to feel like they're being left out. Let's see what's in here. Okay, it was just a linen closet maybe. On the other wing of this level, we've got another bedroom with a full bath. Again, they went with the standard tile. Same concept, walk-in shower. Floor to ceiling windows. And closet space, about the same size. Again, this is, there we go, elevator ready. So they've got the built-in elevator shaft, right? So it makes for easy movement throughout this 9,200 square foot masterpiece. All right, now let's check out our main bedroom. Look at that beautiful chandelier. Okay. Also, I forgot to mention, they've got these high quality solid core doors, which at this price point, I would expect that. So this bedroom is huge. I mean, I don't know if you can tell through the camera, but this is a king size bed, and it's almost, the bedroom makes this look like a twin. Honestly. Let me put this camera down and show you just how large this bedroom is. I'm just gonna walk to the extreme end of the property and look at this. This is huge. So you basically got a bedroom and a living room in one. So I don't think you're gonna be able to watch TV from your bed if you had a TV mounted on that wall, because it's quite a distance. You might have to maybe put some sort of a couch right here. Okay, we've got the ceiling fan. We've got the molding throughout. And then to the left here, we've got a coffee bar. With a wine cooler. So, if you're having one of those mornings where, bad day, the day prior, and you wake up and you really don't feel like going downstairs and talking to anybody for the first 3-4 hours after you wake up, convenient coffee bar, right? You can make your coffee and, get your day started, right? Make the coffee and you can come out here and have a seat. On this beautiful balcony and enjoy the views. That home actually has a pool. All right, let's head back in. You've also got this enclosure right here, which, you wouldn't, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. I was going to say you can set this up as sort of a work area, but I'm not a huge fan of combining work stuff in the bedroom. Let work be out there or in the basement or wherever else, just not in the bedroom. Because I know for me, if I have a workspace in my bedroom, I'm just going to work until I can't work anymore. So coffee bar, we've got the recessed lighting up there. Now let's check out the bathroom. Again, another huge space, right? I'm just gonna put this down again and walk through this bathroom. Just so you can see how I look like an ant in this bathroom. This bathroom is, I would argue this bathroom is about 450, almost 500 square feet. It's incredible. So check out the shower. I'm looking at the screen right now, and I don't know. It just doesn't do it any justice. It doesn't show how large this space is. So again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in the shower, and you know what? Let me prop this up on. I'm just gonna prop this up on this chair. Look at how large this is. I mean, look at that. You've got the right head shower, you've got shower heads to the left, and you've got some to the right as well. So yeah, let me give you a closer view of that. You've got 3 knobs, which control all of these. You've also got that seating area, which is a plus. So let's close this door. Now over here, we've got standalone tub. Not a huge fan of tubs. I'm more of a shower guy, hop in, shower, quickly get the day started. And of course, we've got the dual vanity. We've also got this makeup station in the middle. So sit right there and do what you have to do. I've also got these light fixtures above the mirrors for additional lighting. And we've got these thermostats, so I'm assuming these floors are heated. All right. Toilet with the privacy door, and check out this closet. It's so big that we have an island right in the middle. And check out the light fixture. Yeah, so we've got tons of drawers for storage. I mean, you're not running out of space. You're not running out of space with this amount of storage space. Or who knows? I mean, I've seen people with, let's just say, astronomical amount of clothes. I recently just helped a client purchase a 4-bedroom home, and she is turning one of the bedrooms into an entire closet, and this is a decent sized bedroom. So, no judgment. Yeah, it is what it is. So let's head downstairs to the basement and see what's going on there. Okay, so in the basement, we've got a change of floors. We've got LVP floors down here, vinyl plank floors. Again, built-in elevator shaft, so you can take the elevator up to all levels. You've got a half bath right there. A storage closet. gas fireplace because the entertainment continues, the hosting continues right into the basement. Now, before we check out the rest of the basement, I've got a surprise for you in this room. Now, who can guess what's in this room? No cheating. Put it in the comments before I open the door. Because if you put it in the comments after I open the door, I'm gonna know, I can find out. Don't worry about how, just know I can. So let's go in and check it out. So I'm gonna give you 2 more seconds. What's in this room? 1, 2. We've got our pre-wired movie room. Okay, so we've got the LED lighting throughout the, along the walls. And you've got your movie room. So the only thing you need are your chairs and your entertainment system. Okay. Okay, so we have another butler's pantry over here with this huge island. You've also got, we've got additional wine coolers. You've got multiple. Yep. And to the left here is just our pantry with the see-through doors. And over here we've got, let's see, this is sort of a den. And then this is our 7th bedroom. It comes with its own bathroom. So the beautiful thing about this home is, even though it's a rather large home, it's 9,200 square feet. You can have the elevator installed. From what I've heard, it's gonna cost you around, $20,000 to get that installed. I'm not sure if having the shaft already built in is gonna reduce the cost of that. So even if you had, let's say, like an older family member living in the basement level, or that being his or her room, it could still be ideal because if they had an elevator to access the main levels instead of going up the stairs, it's possible. So now that we've seen a couple of examples of luxury homes on the market in DC and also in McLean, Virginia, let's talk about what the demand is actually looking like for these luxury homes. So before I talk about how the market is performing right now from a demand standpoint, let's go back a little bit and compare 2024 to 2023 so we can understand why we're at where we're at in this current moment. So in the Washington, DC luxury market in 2023, and again, remember, we're starting off this analysis with homes $2.5 million and up. So the amount of luxury home sales in DC jumped from 202 sales in 2023 to 252 sales in 2024. So that's a 25% increase. So what that's telling me is there's a stronger demand for luxury homes in the Washington, DC luxury market. Now, let's talk about an average price for a luxury home in DC proper. As I mentioned just a little while ago, we saw a 25% increase in inventory in the Washington, DC luxury market. Now, usually when you see that much of a jump in the amount of inventory available for sale, 2 things usually happen. Either prices flatline or they tend to dip slightly. So in 2023, the average luxury home in DC was about $3.3 million. And we saw a slight dip in 2024 to $3.26 million, which is about a 1% dip. Again, that's a very minuscule drop. What this is telling me is even with more inventory hitting the market, the luxury market in DC is still somewhat stable. Now let's talk about the days on market for luxury homes in DC, meaning how long did it take these homes to sell once they hit the market? So in 2023, that number was 20 days. And in 2024, we saw an increase to 33 days. So that's a 55% increase. So in 2024 compared to 23, luxury homes were sitting on the market longer. And this is most likely because of the 25% increase in inventory in DC that year. You know, this is basic human psychology. When you have more options at your disposal when you're shopping for things, doesn't matter what it is. It could be for $10 or $10 million. The sense of urgency is usually not heightened. You know, you can compare this to when you're shopping on Amazon for, I don't know, a pair of shoes. If you had only two options, a brown and a black pair, as opposed to having a brown pair, a black pair, a white pair, a red pair, a green or blue pair, you're going to move with a greater sense of urgency to purchase if you only had two options, especially if you see that little sign at the bottom that says only one left. But if you have 20 options, as opposed to just two, you know, you're going to take your time. You're going to shop around. We all do this. So it's the same thing with these luxury homes. More options means people are just going to shop around more and look for better value. And they're just going to take longer to actually make a decision. Now, let's talk about the luxury market in McLean, Virginia. So in 2023, sales volume jumped from 116 sales in 2023 to 170 sales in 2024, which is a 46.5% increase in sales. An even larger increase compared to DC. The average price of luxury homes starting at $2.5 million and up in 2023 averaged out to around $3.08 million. And in 2024, that number went up to $3.3 million. So that's a 6.9% increase in values. So in McLean, we're seeing stronger appreciation in the luxury market compared to DC. Remember, DC dropped 1%. McLean is up 6.9. Now let's talk about how long it takes these luxury homes to sell in McLean, Virginia. So in 2023, that number was 18 days. In 2024, that number went up to 28 days. So that's a 55% increase in the amount of time in 2024 compared to 2023. Again, I'm going to attribute this to the 46.5% spike in available inventory that we saw in 2024 compared to 2023. Because again, basic human buying psychology, when you have that many more options, it's going to take a while for all the available options to get sold. Now, in my opinion, another possible factor that might be increasing how long these properties are staying on the market could be because maybe initially the sellers of these luxury homes might be pricing the homes a little bit on the higher end than what the market is willing to pay for it. These luxury homes, a lot of times, they can sit on the market for 100, 200, 250 days because the luxury market is a very niche market. You know, you don't have an abundance of people who are going to be able to buy $2.5 million plus homes. So a lot of times these homes tend to sit for a while, especially if they might be slightly overpriced. Because when you're selling a home that's worth $4 or $5 or $10 million, you usually don't have an abundance of comparables to look at in the neighborhood, right? So if you're selling a $6 million home, there's a huge chance that you're probably the only $6 million home to sell in that neighborhood or subdivision in the last 6 to 12 months. So coming up with an accurate price that the market might be open to paying for that property might be a little bit challenging. As opposed to, you know, when you're selling a $500,000 home, I mean, they're usually going to be 10 or 20 sales that you can use as comparables to say, okay, well, my $500K home is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and the other 10 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes in the neighborhood in the last 3 to 6 months sold for $500K. So I'm confident putting my home on the market at $500K. With a $6 million home, that's not the case at all. You're not going to have an abundance of $6 million homes that sold in a 3 or 6 month time frame. And of course, you can have an appraisal done to determine an accurate value. But even then, I see homes sell below appraised value all the time. If the appraiser values the home at $6 million and you put it on the market and it sits for 6 months and it ends up selling for, $5.2 million, then hey, that's what the market thought the home was worth. Now, we've compared last year to 2023, but how is the market currently doing at this moment
right now as we speak. The only thing we can compare the current environment to is the first quarter of 2024, because as we speak, we're in April, so we're still in the first quarter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna compare the first quarter of 2024 to the first quarter of 2025, which is the current moment. So in the first quarter of 2024 in the DC luxury market, from January to April, there were 54 sales. The average sale price for a luxury home was $3.3 million, and it took around 21 days for these homes to sell. Now, if we compare that to the current moment, first quarter 2025, January through April, we've had 60 sales so far. The average sale price is $3.192 million. So it's actually dropped about 3.3% compared to this same time period last year. And it's taken these homes 35 days to sell on average. So that's a 66.7% increase in the amount of time it's taken these homes to sell. So inventory is up 11%. The average sale price is down 3.3%. And the average amount of time it's taken these homes to sell are up 66.7%. Now, this is just the first quarter. So who knows? Things might change in the second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter. But as of right now, the luxury market is down about 3% compared to this time last year. Now let's hop over into McLean, Virginia. First quarter 2024, January through April, there were 26 sales. Average sales price was $3.4 million, and the average days on market was 68. As of right now in 2025, throughout the first quarter, there's been 35 sales. The average sales price dropped to $3 million, which is an 11.8% decrease. And the average days on market is 78, which is roughly around a 14% increase in how long these homes are taking to sell compared to the first quarter last year. So looking at the first quarter activity in 2024 compared to 2025, it's telling me that one, both markets saw more sales. So you have more sellers willing to sell and you have more buyers willing to buy. So demand is pretty much still strong. Even though the buyers might be moving a little bit more cautiously. Both markets saw price drops. The DC luxury market is down 3.3%. The McLean, Virginia luxury market is down now compared to last year, about 11%. So both markets are seeing, quite a bit of price drops. And it seems like home sellers are adjusting to these different market conditions and are willing to negotiate more. And homes are also taking longer to sell in both markets, which is telling me that buyers are taking their time because of the surplus of inventory. They just have more options, which is actually what a balanced real estate market looks like. I mean, to be honest, we've been spoiled over the past 10 years with the market we had, where as soon as a property hits the market, it's selling for, 100, 200K over asking price in only 5 days, right? This is actually what a balanced real estate market should look like. And I actually like it, right? So buyers aren't completely in the driver's seat and neither are home sellers. It's balanced. Buyers and sellers, they, kind of dance around a little bit and they negotiate and they come to a conclusion on what the seller is willing to sell for and what the buyer is willing to buy for. This is exactly how a healthy real estate market should look. Now, we still have to see out the second, third, and fourth quarters of 2025 before we come to any definitive conclusions on how the market performs as a whole for the year of 2025. But yeah, if you're looking to hop into the DC or Virginia luxury market as a buyer or even a seller, feel free to contact me. All my contact details are below in the description. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.